가만 안 둬!
Oh my god! Spider-Man! It's Spider-Man! Spider-Man! He's coming to Fortnite!
Have your sinners feeling genocidal? Well, fret not, friends. I am here to talk about Limbus's most useful or useless buff, the death buff. Everyone's favorite. Whether you're using the House of Spiders or N-Corp. Matters not, those buffs can be good. But are they really that good? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Before we go any further, everyone, we just made a new Discord server, and you should totally join it. At 11 PM EST, we, yes, we, as in the Discord server, are going to be polling for the new Walpurgis IDs. And if you want to be there, make sure you join. And also like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. You may not know this already, but there are plenty of characters that get buffs from defeated allies. But the first one I would like to talk about is the manager of Manchaland. If you didn't know already, Manager Dawn gets additional heart blood with each ally death when she does get heart blood from her base skills. When 3 of them die, on top of getting more additional heart blood, she gets something called responsibility. Now what that does is it gives her additional 1 plus clutch power. She deals an additional and takes an additional 20% damage. Very situational. Now with that being said, you have to either kill off the Prince of Manchaland, the Princess of Manchaland, Barber, and Prius of Manchaland. Now between all of them, I think it's best to get rid of Prius and Barber. And then maybe Prince. I think it's better if you use Ring Rhodia instead of the Princess of Manchaland. Just for the sake of bleed count, and she's alive to use Sanguine Desire. But that's just my opinion, but this is one of the weird cases where you generally don't want to sack off your teammates just for the buff, because it isn't quite enough. Now with that being said, I think you're just better off with everyone alive, as you could generate more blood fees, but I find this mechanic very strange because it's kind of like a last stand mechanic rather than a buff. Although the additional heart blood stacks can be really good. However, I wouldn't really go out of my way to sacrifice for the easy path, so I wouldn't advise sacrificing your teammates just for the buff. Say 4 out of 10. Not very good for what you're giving. Now, a more interesting version of this mechanic found in Manager Dawn is the Lord of Hongyuan. Now, this one is kind of different because instead of 3 Blood Fiends you have to sacrifice, you have a whole team of Heishos. However, this has a max cap of 5. So really, you only need 5 Heishos to die. Now, what it does for him is he just gets, what this does is he gets offensive and damage up, as well as attack power if you have enough stacks. The way I would go about this is I would take Way Branch Dawn and sacrifice her first because she is extremely count negative. Then I would do C Branch or U Branch Heishos. I would sacrifice U Branch Heisho Sinclair, then Gregor and Rhodia. That way the team stays mostly count neutral and use Dimension Shredder with Wu Branch Yisang. So you keep the rupture count, but you get the buffs for Honglu. But once again, this is one of those things where it's probably not worth going the extra mile, but when you do get it, it really empowers him. Now, for the most interesting one, House of Spiders Ryoshu is arguably the best character for this. Well, obviously, because it's her whole gimmick. But the way she functions is pretty interesting compared to the other ones. First and foremost, one of the most useful passives for her specifically is when she takes damage, she transfers the damage to the ally with the lowest HP. So she's basically immortal till everyone's dead. Now there's two ways you could play here. You could play her passively and wait for every single ally to die, or you could use her defensive skill to use Tianshu Star, Slay the Heavens, and kill everyone faster. Now, it depends on the playstyle, but you can get away with either, or because you'll be left with Gregor and Mersault anyway. Now, what makes this really good is the unique effects she gets when she kills allies. Now, the best ones are obviously when you kill the Nurse Fathers, because you get 7.5% damage reduction for each one that you kill. So by the time everyone's defeated, she will have a nice 30% damage reduction when she gets out of all the allies. On top of that, she has KO Guard, she has an Evade. All her coins are unbreakable if you kill Yusang. She gets Somatic Vision Inspiring Melody, which gives her extra clash power, which is pretty broken. She gets the extra shield from Faust. She gets sinking from Dawn. She gets defensive power from Ishmael. And it isn't specified whether Rhodia and Otis buffs are on here. Now, with that being said, I'd argue you could leave Sinclair alive, as he's always going to be the last one that dies. Unless you like crit damage. If you want the extra 10% damage in exchange for a character, I wouldn't really suggest going for that one, but it makes her more strong. I think that this character is the only character that sacking off your teammates is viable on purpose. Overall, yes, you can use her like that. That is definitely a way you can use her. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because there's actually a reason to do it. She gets like so much stuff, including the skill slots. Other than that, I have nothing to say. That wraps up today's video. Today we were only covering capstone IDs. Unfortunately, Pequead Ishmael does not have a death buff condition even with her other IDs, nor does Spice Bush. Now if you enjoyed, like and subscribe.